Yes, forgiveness is my F word. So we're going to talk about forgiveness, not in the sense of how the world has forgiveness, but just what the A Course in Miracles brings in as forgiveness. And really, the topic today, I think I want to begin this conversation with today is about uncertainty, right? I mean, this is something that everybody has to deal with, which is the uncertainty of the future and our really all of our doubts, right? The course says that all of our doubts comes from trying to bring the past into the present. So when we talk about forgiveness, we're really talking about a clearing. We're really talking about to give as before, what you thought hurt you, but really didn't, right? That's what the course is suggesting here, is that what you think people have done to you, or an event or the world has done to you, it actually was done for you. And so from that space, we can let go of the stories and the illusions that we brought from the past trauma or the past hurt into the present, which creates doubt and uncertainty and faith and trust into the future. So forgiveness is really about, you know, finding the present moment, is allowing the present moment. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's about giving the present moment the proper attention and awareness, and really giving it the benefit of the doubt. That's really what it is, because we just constantly drag the past into the present moment. And then we try to predict the future based on the past. That way, the present and the future is enslaved by the past, right? And so now, bringing this conversation up to the forefront for all of us, what is it that you are bringing from the past to the present, right? Is it about somebody, what was the past hurts? Who hurt you in the past, right? Who betrayed you? Who neglected you? Who have you given your power over to? Who have you given your present and the future over to? Or what event did you give it over to? Or maybe it's just money. How has money gotten our present and future? How does it rob us of our peace now? Money, the idea of money and our relationship to money, how is that from the past robbing us of our peace today? And will continue to do so. And then what is the cure, so to say? Right? What is the cure? What's the antidote for it? All right, hold on. I don't know why my restream isn't working. 1 second. Or maybe it is. I don't know. My chat just disappeared. Anyways, sorry. So today we're gonna talk about that, because I think in today's economic market as well, there is a tightening, there's a constricting in the flow of money. And when it starts from the top like that, everybody feels it on some level, right? All the way down to the person that's working at McDonald's will feel this tightening, because across the board, money became tighter. And so even in today's world, when things are seemingly so uncertain, right? The future seems so uncertain, actually is every day, regardless what the market is. We all have these worries, and it's about the future. It's about, if I'll be able to pay this bill, if I'll be able to pay off my credit card, will I still have my job? So many things like that. And it's just, the future is just so uncertain. And some of you guys might have heard that I buy multifamily real estate now. And I've been saying how I wanted to get out of my single families. And I keep speaking it into existence, but I wasn't ready to let them go because the income was so great. I got comfortable with it. And some of the properties, I don't know, maybe because I keep speaking into it, right? the city actually came down on us about the Airbnbs that we were running. And for some reason I was a little bit late. I was late on the reapplication of my property, and they just decided not to give it to me. Every single year I've been late and they've been great with it. They've been fine. I was even 2 months late once, but now they're like, "Nope, we can't give it back to you." I'm like, "Whoa. What's going on?" I'm not ready to give up the 20,000 a month that's generated from this property. And then it wasn't just one, it was one and then two. And so now we're like, all right, I guess we'll sell this thing, right? And so it's uncertain. All of a sudden my expenses are still here, and then what I thought was my expected income changes. And these things change all the time, but can we still find grace? That's the question. Can we find peace? Right? Even with so many things being so uncertain. And I spoke it into existence. That's why last night my prayer that came to me was that I want to bring unity and peace into the world through my thoughts, my actions, and my words. And I just kept repeating that to myself last night. I want to bring unity and peace to the world through my thoughts, actions, and words. And it's so interesting because I was thinking about how every time I speak about something, it happens. Literally. And it happens on these calls a lot too, because I personally think that these calls are like a prayer. We actually slow down and stop what we're doing to listen to something, to remember something. Or we do it together in this circle. Everyone that's here, we stop for just a couple moments to remember what our work really is. See, when we remember what our work really is peace just flows through. Peace comes in, but when we forget what it is that we're doing, all the worry and the doubts come. And my job and my work is not to make any plans of my own, right? There's a saying that if you want to make God laugh, make plans. Because there's some truth in that, right? My job isn't to make plans on my own. My job isn't to judge the world, judge people on my own. My job is to have an open mind and an open heart to follow Spirit's plan. Now that takes being aware, being alive, being conscious from moment to moment. But how often do we feel the sense and the need to check out now? See, the world is coming to a place where we have so much ADHD. Like I do a lot of things on social media, and constantly I'm learning, okay, you have shorter and shorter and shorter time of grabbing somebody's attention. And I was playing into that for a while. I was playing into it and I was like, oh my God, I was stressing myself out trying to find the fastest, best hook in 2 seconds. Now, the second part to that is you have 2 more seconds to get somebody's attention. So you got 4 seconds basically. And when somebody watches your video for 4 seconds, there's a much greater chance they watch the whole thing. So we got to hit 4 seconds. And then the way that you get them to watch the whole thing is if you say, this is how I never pay taxes, but you don't tell them after the 4 seconds. You got to go on and tell a story or something for about 20, 30 seconds, and then you tell them. Now, it was interesting to me for a while, and I think it does work because I started to pay attention to myself. I'm like, come on, tell me already, tell me already. But what if in every one of those times we don't put in fillers and we just say things that are really meaningful and impactful through the whole thing? We don't create little things in the middle as fillers, right? As a tactic, actually, as a psychological tactic to trick our viewers. What if we just gave value all the way through? And we didn't care about the amount of people that watched our videos, but the right people watched our videos. And so I was just having, I've been having this has been my social media journey. It's been stressful too. Because at times I would pay upwards of $8,000 a month for my CRM, my social media, for the management of it. We have 8 people working for us, editing videos, putting comments, creating thumbnails, posting it on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and then also boosting these reels to get more people to watch it, trying to reach out to more people. And I'm like, it's a lot of planning that I was doing, right? And I just and it started to get overwhelming because it was a constant like KPI, engagement, this, that, and then we just looked at it all the time to see what worked, what didn't work. Now, obviously, there is a place for that, but I think from the soul level for all of us, I think what we rather care about is remembering our work in this moment, not about what everyone's going to think. And everyone's going to come once you've crafted your message. Everyone's going to start watching once you've delivered your message in such a way that is mastery, right? But I think in today's world, everybody's looking at, oh, how many people, how many followers do you have? How many subscribers do you have? How much are people watching your videos? And it's actually causing the short attention span. And it'll just get shorter and shorter because everybody's playing into it. As hooks become really great every 2 seconds, now the expectation is gonna be 1 second, right? And now I see on YouTube links and stuff that their thumbnails and the pictures that they post in the front are not really what the video's about. So see, we're constantly tricking each other. We're constantly using psychology to trick others to do something. So I think good that I've gone through that journey. But I think I've always known that it's just about the quality of what I'm doing, the connectedness of what I'm saying, my words that come out of my mouth connecting to what I believe and what I know is to be true in my heart. And I let the mind take a break here and there. See, we live in our minds so much that we constantly feel the need to disconnect. And we disconnect through scrolling of social media, watching Netflix, and just trying not to live in this world because this world just seems too painful, too dangerous. And so we want to check out, we want to go to another world. So the bringing of grace and awareness and consciousness to each moment and giving each moment the time that it deserves requires constant work for us. And today is about forgiveness being our F word. Forgiveness is to give as before. How before? When we're babies? Maybe. That would be a good place to start. But that is what the Course is saying. If you want to find true peace, you are going to have to bring your experience of this moment back to that baby level. The innocent child of God is what the Course says. And the way that we do that is we look for it in others. And this is why our brothers and sisters are our saviors and our mirrors, because we need to practice looking at the baby of each person, the innocent child. No matter what they say, what they do, they are teaching you, oh, can you see me as an innocent child? Can you see me as I am so that you can remember yourself? This is what challenges and triggers are for. They're teachers to you to say, can you see me as the innocent child of God so that you may remember who you are? That's a good one. Give me a moment here to write my aha moments down. So I'll take a just quick break as I do this for anybody that wants to share anything, any aha moments, anything you want to share. If you're new, you can say hi, whether you're on Instagram, wherever you are. Would love to hear from you. This is a collaborative satsang/prayer. Also, Natalia, you did an amazing job last week.
So, Alex, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, brother, go ahead.
With forgiveness, thank you, because that's been a massive process for me the last couple weeks working through the yoga of relationships and the relationship with myself. And the question I have to you is I've been navigating a lot of heaviness because I've been trying to come back to love and forgive, and we've been through a lot. So that's been coming up. And like I'm trying to navigate with my gut because my gut is saying there's patterns, there's things that's happened, and in those instances, like it's been really damaging to me and to her. And I'm trying to come back to forgiveness, and we're trying to create a committed partnership, but for some reason it was like my gut wasn't feeling it and I was trying to forgive, and it's like I'm trying to step into this trust and knowing and trying to separate like my fears of commitment and relationship from it showing up, and actually like deciphering that from my gut and call it like the divine sacred timeline that I'm trying to step into with my music and my life and existence. And it's like that ego of saying like, all right, well, this person loves you, and if you're working on this, you have to honor if you feel called, like your spirit saying that there's something bigger for you, and you're kind of settling trying to heal or help somebody. That kind of is, who she is who she is. You don't have to accept their character. So the question I have is, how do you get past those patterns for forgiveness, but also dial in with your gut and understand somebody's character to really know if you're committing to somebody that's committed to growth, or if knowing that that future is actually your gut telling you like, hey, no, walk away.
Mhm. One second, let me write this down. But I have something for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, Sorry, that was a good line that I had to write down.
You're perfect, bro.
Yeah. So here's the first thing, the forgiveness part, right? Here we go again. You're bringing the past into the present and then you're trying to justify it. The problem with the past is what we do is we let a thought come to our mind, right? About, something about the past. And then we entertain the thought. And then we're like, that kind of makes sense. And we examine it and we give us a little bit of thought. Then we speak it, right? This is when it comes out of your mouth to the other person, or maybe on this call, even, right? We speak it out and it becomes our reality. We manifest it because we speak it. So once we've spoken it, we have to justify what we're saying now, right? The ego requires us to justify and make ourselves look good. Being right, being in control, looking good, all of those are things that are top priority for the ego. So we're going to justify it, reason with ourselves, right? Because we're trying to protect this identity that we're the heroes of our lives. That's what we're at. And then that thought enslaves you and you become a victim to it. That's the process of it. Now, by the time it enslaves you, it's a big monster. But big monsters can also be let go really quick, can be forgiven really quick. And the forgiveness is, let me turn this over to the Holy Spirit. First of all, I there is no fixing. She does not need fixing of any sort. The world does not need to change. She does not need to change. My perception needs to change. What I think is wrong or needs to be fixed needs to change. And from that space, let me see her as a teacher. And then you start to access gratitude. See, when you start to access gratitude, it's a different tunnel that you go down of thoughts. Different chain of thoughts happen. You don't start thinking about the past of what was wrong with her, and here it comes again, and all that stuff that we get into arguments and fights about, right? And that we got to justify, oh, but I'm trying to find myself again, and we just look for all sorts of stuff. They're all bogus. Okay, really what comes down to it is you are not recognizing who's in front of you as your greatest teacher right now, and you don't have enough gratitude. Yeah.
I was going to stop you there. No, I have I've been moving all my emotions up. So I've been holding the higher vibration. When I reconnect with her, what it is it's just patterns of abuse, like just things and like very damaging. And I'm trying to hold the space, but it's just trying to check in where like the amount of work and effort and time and everything I'm putting in, and then how it's taken away. And I'm trying to forgive, and it just distracts from everything. I'm trying to see those patterns,
Yeah.
move back to forgiveness and love. But I think I'm kind of dialing into my real needs as what I want as a partner, what I want as a long-term partner, and I never have. And that's the difficulty is I see this person and I moved to forgiveness. I moved to love. I see the lesson. Last night, I told her she's the best teacher. We sat, like, we spoke. Yet also, like, for me, energetically, like, I don't feel safe around her at times. And that's like a whole, like, system. And it's not just the things that happen, but that's why I'm trying to navigate it, where I have a big heart. I forgive everybody. I take accountability for everything. But it's just understanding that also that opens me up at times, and I'm trying to just hone my energy so I'm not,
Yeah.
sucked into something that isn't really in alignment with my greatest self and my higher self.
So here's the other thing. Forgiveness does not make you weaker and open up to being more vulnerable to attack. Okay, forgiveness actually brings you to your invulnerability, that nothing can actually hurt you. I've let go of the fact that this could even hurt me, right? Because you're still holding on to it. I forgive you because I'm a space holder, and I'm just trying to find love now. So that's what forgiveness is important to me. Well, it's not about that. Forgiveness is about bringing it to a clearing that you couldn't be triggered anymore. Because what triggers you from her, if a stranger came up to you and did the same thing, it would not trigger you at all, because you have this invulnerability. You don't have the past attached to this moment, right? And those things don't come up. So can you continue to hold the space for yourself? It's not for her. Let her be whatever she wants, but I'm going to be a safe space for myself. And how do I find that in this fast moving world where things move so fast and people want things and they don't even know what they're saying and everybody's confused and whatever? How do I, and everyone feels separate from me? Like everyone's got different interests and different desires, and it's different from mine. I want this and they want something different. See, that's actually one of the ego's way of creating the separation, is that, dude, Johan, I think what you want and what I want completely different. That separation, that's a thought that you're entertaining. And then you make it true, and then you bring that to every space that you go to, right? Because nobody's going to, because we don't perceive our own best interests, we think that we want certain things and that they want something different, right? And then we want something for them that we don't even have ourselves, right? We're like, here, this is how you get to peace, this is how you return to love, and we're over here freaking out, right, about the smallest little things. So we want to use everything as our teaching moment, as our mirrors to remember ourselves. That's the purpose for everything. Then we don't blame the other person for anything. They could never rob us of our power, because this is not about them. I'm not playing a game with them. Now, of course, when too much stuff comes up, and we do live in a meat suit, and we do live in this world, and it's constantly bringing you to a state of judgment and fear and guilt, then physically being apart is also okay, because the mind is never apart. So it doesn't matter what you really do physically. You may physically be like, I need to be 10 blocks away from you. I may need to be a different state away from you. I got to be around the other side of the world from you. Okay. And then maybe we can't even be Instagram or Facebook friends. Oh no. But we just got to have no contact. But you know what? They still live within you. You can't escape it, just because physically, maybe illusion wise, you're like, yeah, I got boundaries, we're separate, they're not gonna bug me. But that same pain, that same guilt, and all of that you carry, that's with you, right? The separation thought, that's still with you. And then you're gonna have to find another teacher or another teaching device that's gonna tell you, hey, gently, like, oh man, I feel a sense of connection and unity. And maybe this is through your music, right? And through your music, you may be able to heal yourself, because I know you're a great musician and everything. So you can heal yourself through the words and through the songs that you're playing, right? Because those are words, but those are words that have been crafted to speak something beautiful, right? And so you can use that in the time while you're healing to serve as a teaching device. But that's all it is too. Remember, that's still a teaching device. We don't want to get sucked into anything like putting it on the altar. Nothing belongs on the altar besides God and love. So all the peace that you've lost is because you've made God of something that it is not. Is really what the course is saying, right?
I acknowledge you're right, spot on. Like yesterday we spoke, and I projected a lot onto her, and I had a conversation because she was going through a hard time. I have a big heart, and we spoke, and I could really feel her heart. We sat yesterday and really like for me, it was for both of us. It was very healing, to really speak. And like you said, like it's a lot. Being in a relationship with someone teaches you about your relationship with yourself. You
Mhm.
know, and yeah, I'm just returning back to the positive music because I find like I was a container for pain before because I went through a lot of my life, and she had a lot of pain we helped navigate. And my focus now is return to love and to be a space of love and love.
Beautiful. Yeah. And just keep saying that to yourself, but also, what will you do so that that happens? Right? You can speak that, but the ego can turn what love is differently all the time, right? It will decide what that is. So, what is the action step that I'm going to take so that that happens? Which could be, today, anything that robs me of my peace, I am not going to try to solve it, figure it out, understand it, look at it myself. I'm just going to give it over to spirit. I want to keep practicing opening my heart and opening my mind so that spirit may guide me moment to moment, because we can go down the tunnel. As soon as something bad happens, we start to go and down the tunnel backwards, pulling everything from the files that we can so that we can put it on the table in front of us and make our case. Like, who are we making our case to? Nobody really cares that much for you to make your case, to make you drag all the things in the past to make a case, right? And we all do it. That's why I say always or never all the time. You always do this. You never do this. I'm sure we do. All of us do it, right? I mean, we just like include it's like boom. Here, see, here's the records. I went into my records and I grabbed all of it from the past and I put it into this moment, and here it is. And you know what? Because the past, and I just brought all this up and it helped me remember. Thank you for helping me remember that the future would look exactly like that if we keep going down this road. Oof. Is that the trap? Or is that the craziest, most insane hamster wheel that you could possibly be on? Right? We've literally imprisoned ourselves to a past version of us that isn't even here now. Right? Give yourself a chance to be the new you, to be the you that you were created to be. Trust God and love is in us all as we are created perfect, whole, and complete. We don't need anything. It's nice. It's nice to have a nice house. It's nice to have a pool. It's nice to have Teslas. It's nice to be in a loving relationship, married. Those are all nice things. It's nice to have great friends. It's nice to have people that support me. Awesome. But do I need any of that? No, I don't. That's why the Course says the need, right? You need do nothing. That means the need for it is not required. Go ahead and do something. Do whatever you want to do. If it brings you a level of peace and grace, do it. Now, it doesn't always do that. We do a bunch of stuff and we say a bunch of things that has us go down rabbit holes of guilt, shame, fear, judgments, all of those things that just makes us, we can't even help it. We just go back to our records and we go and find evidence. Like, that's it. That's it. Right. So I would continue to practice forgiveness and contemplate what the word forgiveness is for you. How do I give as before? How do I give as before? Before when? And just keep how far before? Keep going before until you find the innocent part of you that is not tainted by the dramas of this world, by the stories that you've made up, by the illusions that we follow. Keep going, right? Until you find that. Some things are going to be easier than others, but the way to do it, the practice of it is to give it to spirit. Let me have an open heart today. Let me have an open mind today so that I allow spirit to guide me. This person is in my life. What is it for? What is this for? It's easy for us to say separation is the way. Then the ego wins. And that is not going to lead you down the love that is all encompassing. That will lead you down this separate special love that you've created for yourself. That this love only leads to more conflict. That's the ego's love. The ego's love leads to more conflict. The Holy Spirit's love leads to peace. And that's it. Right? So like, yesterday, like, had a little bit of a little hiccup altercation with my wife, and and I just remembered that through my how powerful my words are, my thoughts are, my actions are. Not for our relationship, but just for me in general. How fast I could be triggered. How no matter what I practice, I'm still a human being. So I got to forgive myself first and not carry it. So that I stop pulling records from the past and looking for the always. I got to make my case. My case has to be always because I say it out of my mouth all the time. That means I need a lot of records so that it could be always. Now, I've done A Course in Miracles and practiced it for so long that I can't pull records. I'm like, I got no memory. I'm like, wait, I don't know what we talked about last time. So when I try to make a case, I actually sound really dumb. Like I can't win arguments really because my cases have no case no what's it called? Case studies or whatever, evidence. Because I can't remember shit. I'm just like, oh my God. Last time we talked, and if I ever try, I sound so dumb because it doesn't even go together. Like the sequence is all stupid, and now we're not even talking about what we're debating on. We're like talking about how my sequence is messed up because that's So now I'm just like I'm not gonna debate. Right? I don't want to argue. I don't want to debate. It's like cool. You got what you got. I got what I got. Now let's just clear this thing somehow as fast as I can. And I recognize in the moment, like, okay, keep giving it over. Keep giving it over to spirit. I don't want to be right. And then my ego's like, no, you want to be right. I'm like, okay, I want to be right. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to be right. All right. So this is the game we play with ourselves. If we pay that much attention, right? The goal is to shorten that rebound time. The first time I get upset, it might take 2 days for me to cool down. Right. I'm going around telling everybody the problem. I go and do all this stuff. I try to do things now to fix this problem. Go and do a whole bunch of things. But we don't it's not necessary. We just got to sit and just let that moment be that moment and forgive it, let it go. Cuz the more we try to actually fix that problem, what it does is make the problem bigger. Every time we give attention to it, that problem becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And so our world is sick in that way is that whatever problems we have, we try to fix it. We take medication. We take medication to try and fix it. All that does is amplify our belief that this thing has us, that we are sick from it. All right. Is it possible in the realm of infinite possibilities that this moment I take a blood test and I have high cholesterol, high blood sugar, all this stuff, and somehow in an hour or 2 hours, or maybe after an ACIM call, I take a test again, it's different. Is that possible? So if in the world of infinite possibilities that is possible, we go instead to take high blood pressure medicine for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, maybe our whole life, thinking that we're sick. We just make the sickness more and more real. Now, that's one form of our insanity. We do it in our relationship and love. We do it with medicine. We do it with everything because we cannot let this moment be this moment. So, even in the most uncertain of times, we can find grace by just constantly giving it over to spirit, saying, listen, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I look like an idiot right now, but it's fine. I rather have peace than to be right about any of the stuff that I'm right about. Right. So let me give everybody and myself a gift of reminder today. And I think Natalia actually read this last time, some time ago. But it's who are God's teachers? Right? This is one of our, and we can all choose today that we are going to be God's teachers. Not like some special title, but on the soul level, I'm going to be this new identity. So what is this new identity? Who's a teacher of God? Okay. A teacher of God, you don't need any certifications. You don't need anything. You don't need to practice any amount of hours or have done anything. No credentials needed. Is anyone who simply chooses to be one. Your qualification consists solely in this. Somehow you have made a deliberate choice. That means every one of us, every moment can make this deliberate choice in which I do not see my interests apart from someone else's. Isn't that just the simplest thing? Is it easy to do? Nope. Because Johan, you and your partner, you're gonna constantly say, "Oh, our interest." Every time you fight is because our interest, I think, is different. What we want is different, and we look for it. We look for it. So if you're going being a teacher of God is simply that I've deliberately made a choice that I don't see my interests apart from anyone else's. That's the only mantra you need. Somebody that's child trafficking. Our interests are not apart. Whoa. People are like, well, I can't go there. That's too far. Okay, well, don't go there. Go somewhere easier. Then it's, you know, Johan on this call. My interest and his are not apart. All right, start there. It's nice and easy. All right. We can all relate. We can't relate to a human sex trafficker or child trafficker, or can we? All right, but we push our ability to forgive. We're powerful, we're resilient, we're part of infinity, and we're part of the whole. Once we have done that, our road is established and the direction is sure. See the direction. We got direction now. We're not looking to be right or to judge somebody. We're just looking, hey, how is our interest the same? How is our interest the same? We look completely different. You're doing something else. You sound crazy, but how is our interest the same? See, we have direction. A light has entered the darkness. It may be a single light, but it is enough. You have entered an agreement with God, even though you may not fully believe in Him yet. He has come, He has become a bringer. You have become a bringer of salvation. You have become a teacher of God. Now, teachers of God comes from all over the world. They come from, or I'm going to keep changing all the days to we come from all religions and from no religions. We are the ones who have an answer. The call is universal. It goes on all the time, everywhere. It calls for teachers to speak for it and redeem the world. Many hear it, but few will answer. That means how many people will hear this message, this call? I am a connector. I am a messenger. The message comes to me, through me, to you. That means this is the call. If you are hearing this now and you're on this call, this is the call to you. I am extending the call to me, to you, from Source, from God. And so, will you be part of the few that will answer the call? Many will hear this, only few will answer. Yet, it is all a matter of time. Everyone will answer in the end. But the end can be a long way off. It is because of this that the plan of teachers was established. Our function is to save time. Each one begins as a single light, but the call at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited, and each one saves 1,000 years of time as the world judges time. To the call itself, time has no meaning. All right, so there is a call. The center fire has called each of us. And each one of us that lights up, that senses the fire, that the fire and the spark is ignited, as you cultivate this light, it becomes your single mission is to extend this light. You extend it in all the realms of everything that you do. That's the sense of purpose, the sense of direction now brings deeper meaning and fulfillment to all the things that you do in your life. And the extension isn't about making more money or this or that. It's on the relationship. It's on able to let me spark this light. Let me bring light to the darkness right now. Most of the people in the world are in darkness. And there are bringers of light right now, all around, doing all this types of work. And some of us will feel called to this call. Others will be called to something else. But once that light is lit, you got to nurture it. That's your job now. And the way you nurture is you practice it on the people in your life. You make an impact around you, your family members. Who have you not forgiven? Who are you holding some kind of grievance to? Because love holds no grievance. Ego holds grievances. Ego looks for what's different. Not that our interests are all the same. Right? Even in your relationship, your loving, intimate relationship, there may be times that you think our interests are apart. Those are your greatest teachers. Now, the course also continues to say that there is a course, however, for every teacher. The form of the course is going to vary greatly. That means each one of us that decides to answer the call, the form will look different. You may step deeper into your music, and your music becomes the light. Your music becomes the igniter of light. And you extend and you do your work through music. I do it through these Zoom calls. I do it through A Course in Miracles. And I do music too. I sing and I play the guitar in certain settings. Yeah. So, okay. That's what I'll read from the course, from the text right now. What are you guys hearing? Does anybody want to share anything? If anything is coming up on your mind, it is part of the collective thought that has been downloaded, the collective channel, and have the courage to share, the clarity to share. Not even courage. Wouldn't require too much courage. From courage to clarity. I like it. Good job, everybody. See? That wasn't so hard to share, was it? Let's see. Somebody is requesting to be live. No, I don't really do lives collaboratively on the Instagram. Um, not for this call at least, because I don't really know who's requesting. Now, if you reached out and you've been on the Zoom calls and I know who you are, then yes, we'll do that. Because, you know, just oh, let me put the link in there then. That will probably be smart to do. All right. Here you go. This is how you will register for this call, and I will pin it to the top. Okay. So, what do I need to do? I need to read A Year of Miracles to inspire us in something? Oh, great.
What came up for me was when I have this need or not need or okay, I've answered the call like I heard the call and understanding this and then so when being with other people I'm like okay so you know about time you get it and it's almost like I don't want to call it need but it's like this, not understanding or when I get frustrated when people, especially my loved ones, the people that are closest to me, when they're not on the same page. And yeah, so how do we navigate through that?
Yeah, well, start first by changing your perception or your illusion about pages. That there is different pages to even be on. We're all on the same page no matter what. Okay, so first change that. We're on the same page, right? And you meet them where they're at, right? You meet them where they're at. That's what needs to happen. Can you bring a level of patience and compassion and understanding to where they're at? That's really the short form answer to that. And really the only form needed is to go there, right? And see that there's nothing wrong. Because the reason I would think that we're not on the same page and that that's a problem is because I think I'm in a better page than their page. That requires judgment. And no matter what you do, judgment will take you down the rabbit hole of pain and suffering and all of that. And just be very, and also, the first thing we can do is we can begin to watch what comes out of our mouth. See, the baby, the monster, grows each step. The thought comes in, I'm feeling alone or separated. That's it's some form of that thought that it's separated. That me and this now we're separated. Okay, we entertain that thought. See, the monster starts to grow. Or feeding it. Every single problem we have at the very beginning, it's a little baby monster. It's easy to give over, but we entertain the drama. We think we find some value in being right. So we entertain the drama. Well, you know, if they just stopped doing this, or if they came onto the ACIM calls more, if they just, stop this, and if they this, they that, right? We just give it all to them. Now that thought, that monster has grown a little bit bigger. And then we speak it. We're like, well, you never do this. And it just like comes out like, oh, now that I said it, I better defend it. And we go back into our records, find some evidence to defend what I said, and then we spend all day thinking about it, finding reasons why I'm a victim, right? And trying to be right and make sense of why I said what I said. And we give it so much attention and it just becomes big. The little baby monster that could have been given over to spirit so easily now becomes a big fat monster that occupies everything. It's become my reality. I see it everywhere. I start watching TV shows or I talk to somebody. I'm like, oh, there's the monster again. There's record that I can grab. There's evidence for my monster. And it just gets bigger and bigger. And before you know it, it enslaves you and it keeps collecting evidence. Because all it wants to do is eat. All it wants to do is be right. More right, more right, more right. I'm a big monster and I'm gonna, I enslave the host. And then we feel completely like helpless with this monster, and we've just come to a place of hopelessness, and we're like, I don't know, hopefully they can inject something into me so that I just be healed of this. Hopefully I can take some medicines or something. That's our solution for everything, right? Our solution to it all is just to take some pills or something to cover up, to try to fix something. But all you're doing energetically and ideally is growing that problem. We're resisting it. And what does resistance do? Resistance creates persistence. So now our baby monster that was once just a thought and an idea, we've entertained it, we've talked, and then now it comes out of our mouth. Once it comes out of our mouth, we've literally spoke it into reality. And because somebody witnessed it, now we got to defend ourselves and we're thinking about it, we're growing it, and the monster just keeps feeding and eating till the monster becomes your host. And we feel so helpless. And that helplessness, see, that monster, that one monster has taken over all areas of our lives. Everywhere, that monster will show up. Now, the Course says all perception, which that monster is a perception, is learning. Perception is learning. And how that's so is as soon as that monster is turned over to the Holy Spirit. See, we're the insanity of us is we allow monsters to get so big and traumatize us and make us victims for so long. But there is only one instant which you become healed of all of it. That's the holy instant. It doesn't matter if it took you a year, 10 years. This is why the Course says time is not our concern. Because it may take 10 years. It may not happen in this lifetime that you can let it go. But there will be a single moment, a single instant in which you're like, enough is enough. I'm done with it. Here I go. Off I go with all my judgments, grudges, because I am in my deathbed. I'm 99 years old. I've lived my whole life with this thing. And yeah, fuck it. Just let it go. And then you go. It's like, wow, really? We want to wait till that then? See, to spirit, that doesn't matter. That's the holy instant. The spirit only cares about the holy instant, which is that instant. And that instant is available to us right now, and right now, and right now, and now, and now, all the way through. We can choose. We have the free will to choose. The only choice we have to choose from. See, free will does not mean we established a curriculum. Free will means that we can choose between being insane or being not insane. That's it. And most of the times we choose to be insane. We're just like, yep, I'm going to hold on to this a little bit longer. I like my little pet monster. Let's grow it a little bit more. Because being right just temporarily feels so good. Doesn't give you anything. Just gives you more pain to follow. It gives you separation. It creates hostility between friends, amongst friends, right? Hostility between partners. So let's give over our big monsters. See, once you've given over, see, perception is healing and perception is learning, because once we've given over this big monster, perhaps we start to give it over when they're baby monsters, right? When the thought just comes, the Course says that's the tiny mad idea. A tiny mad idea.
So this monster would be the one, I think I know better monster, or the judgment, and
All the different monsters that you're labeling is simply a monster of separation. There is nothing else. You can call it judgment, you can call it this, you can call it that. It's just your being right that separation is real. When separation is real for us, okay, and this is not just like some woo woo talk, but when I feel somebody can be a threat to me, that's the separation. That their interest is somehow apart from mine. So again, remember today, the gift for all of us is that we choose to be God's teachers, which only requires one thing, is that you choose to see that mine and my brothers or my sisters' interests are not apart. And you just keep playing with that today. Keep reflecting on that today. And Antoine, I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. Yes, actually, I'm gonna get to you right now. So go ahead, man.
So everything you're saying, it reminds me of a trip I just had with my family. We were in Cancun, beautiful resort, beautiful lake around the resort. Everybody's in their little canoe, rowing around. So obviously, me and my spouse decide to do the same thing, and we cannot keep this thing to go straight. It's like I row, she's rowing out of sequence. The thing is going the wrong way. Now we start yelling at each other. I'm in the front. I'm uncomfortable. And so I'm trying to lead. And then when I say something, let's do it this way. And then she's like, why do you think it's going to go that way? And then I'm doing a funny reverse moves. She's like, what is that? So I completely lose my shit, right? So it's like, oh, you never listen to me. I just lost my shit. And so, I did, start with patience, love. We're going to have this beautiful moment on the lake, but the boat can't go straight no matter, what I'm saying, it just didn't work out, right? So I failed miserably. I pulled some old records out, I was like, some words came out that I regret. So we finally make it off the lake, and I'm like, man, this is definitely harder than I thought. This definitely revealed, where we are in terms of, I don't know if it's communication or authority problems. Or I'm like, man, I want to do over on that one.
Yeah, dude, I love every time you share. I'm excited for it. So look, here's the funny thing. Yeah, we want to do over, but you know what? You get a do over right now. You get do overs. We get infinite amount of lives. This is why infinite patience brings immediate peace, and you have the opportunity. Everything that happens does not happen. So you judge. You got to release that. You got to forgive yourself. Give as before. Right? Oh man, I totally messed up. But you know what? The messing up presents an opportunity that not messing up does not have. Right? So now there's a way to deepen and bring clarity to communication and trust and understanding all through this whole big mess up. And it's great. The monster revealed for you. Now, here is me. Because we recently went on a little kayak trip as well. And me being, lazy also, and I don't need to control anything. I'm gonna sit in the back of the canoe, in the back of the kayak. So, half the time my wife is paddling and going places, and oh, we need to go to the right side of the bank, the left side of the bank. They said this and that, and we need to go this speed. And sometimes I'll just not even paddle, and she won't even know. And then she's like, "Oh my god, I'm tired." I'm like, "Yeah, we're still right here with the group. We haven't really gone anywhere. It's all good." And and then I'll paddle, right? Like I'll be whatever needs to be in that moment, right? I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching her do her thing all the time. Like, we in our community, in our tribe, we love watching her dance. Right? So this is part of her dance. Running around and whatever it is that she's doing, and just enjoy watching it. And yeah, and we had a great time. I didn't lose my peace at all. In the kayak, I didn't want to control where we're going, how fast we're going, if we're going straight or not. I'm like, yeah, whichever way I go, I'm supposed to go, you know. And they taught me that if I need to go, and usually slowing down actually gives better directions, right? So like if we're like, no left, no right, no left, and people are all confused because there's a lag time, between understanding and actually doing. It's like, okay, well, you paddle left, and then I will meet you where you're at. See, if you know better, if you think you know better, at least always meet people where they're at. And you're like, okay, well, I know how to go straight. Well, I'll meet you where you're at. You don't know how to go straight, then you paddle however you want to paddle, and let me figure out how to adapt to it so we can go straight. It's the chaos of left, right, and that's our life. All of us just go left, right, and then we're all like confused where we're going. We're like, wait, did we get to where we need to go yet? I forgot because I'm trying to be right about going left or right. I forgot what was even where were we going? So let me just read something from because I flipped open to this and I think it's a great thing for today. So again, this is Marion Williamson's A Year of Miracles. Really great. Just flipped it open. Day 30. Reflection on the spiral on life as a spiral. Interesting. I didn't read it. It just caught my attention when I opened it. I was like, oh, I need to read this. According to ancient Asian philosophy. Okay, cool. I like it. Life is not a circle, but a spiral. Every life lesson that has ever been presented to you, which means everything you have ever been through, will come back again in some form until you learn it. And the stakes each time will be higher. Ooh. Whatever you've learned will bear greater fruit. Whatever you failed to learn will bear harsher consequences. Whatever didn't work in your life before this point was a reflection of the fact that you hadn't integrated the different parts of yourself. Where you didn't yet accept yourself, you attract a lack of acceptance in others. Where you hadn't yet dealt with your shadows, you manifest shadowy situations. Broken parts of you encounter broken parts of others. So now you know that was then, and this is now. Yo, she is out of control. Reading that, I have goosebumps on my biceps, on my back. I'm just whoa. What a sick ending to. So now you know. That was then, this is now. That is going to be my line. I'm stealing this line and I am going to use it. I love it. That was awesome. Great job, Marianne. Marianne for president. Okay. So what else? That was fun. We got 20 more minutes. Brooke, I love all your emoji approvals of things that I say. It really inspires me. Who else has got a story? Who else has got something to teach us? Do I have anything? Oh, aha. Marlene. Marlene the Miraculous. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Um, Alex, it's very interesting that you keep on talking about forgiveness. Um, the way I see it, or it has made sense to me, is that it's really a act of love to myself. So I think and I feel I have given forgiveness, to situations and people in the past. But when I really get triggered and I have a still problem, and maybe someone out there would resonate with me and maybe not, it's saying I need to still, like be part of and close to the same people. I'm just not there yet, I guess, in my spiritual journey. And other than just putting it out there, I would also like to hear what are your thoughts, and how do you come to that level of love that you will actually and authentically um, want to be part of the same situation over and over again. And I think that's where I should have started my share is that authenticity is definitely a core value to me. Like I don't want, I prefer like how can I say this? Like almost like a rotten fruit if it's authentic from you, that rather than a beautiful bunch of flowers if you sent it not from your heart and trying to get something or some approval from others, etc. So, if authenticity is my value, how can I truly be part of the situation if I don't feel like it? So now I become unauthentic. How do I go about it?
This is the confusion. We don't really know what it is that we want. See, like, I prefer this rotten fruit that is authentic from you. And then we're like, wait, is this authentic or is it not? See, our actually dislike of rotten fruits, we're like, yeah, we'll start making up other things. So here's the thing. There is no rotten fruits. There is no beautiful fruits. There is no authentic or inauthentic. Everyone can only be exactly what they are, even though it may seem inauthentic. There is none of that. So your forgiveness is on authenticity. You got to let go of all the records you've collected on authenticity and just trust that nobody can be anything else but exactly what God has made them to do. So the authentic part is no matter what this person is doing, if they're just trying to manipulate you, get something out of you, that is exactly what God wants this person to be doing. And that is authentic to God, right? Otherwise, we're always going to be judging the depth of the person. And we will never get there because people shift day to day. One day I feel like it, one day I don't. So how can you really judge somebody's authenticity that way? We can only judge it based on, let me give it to you, Spirit. Right? I just let my judgment go. I don't need to. I don't need to decide if you're authentic or not authentic, or if I'm authentic or not, because this whole authentic thing will just go in circles. And then you'll feel like, man, I'm not being authentic. And you start judging yourself. Now, a lot of things that I used to judge a lot more, I've forgiven and they quickly pass. When things come up, it quickly passes, right? Now, also remember what Marion just said. It's that these lessons will come in different forms over and over again, and one more extreme than the next, and the consequences bigger, the successes are bigger, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger because the opportunity, your capacity to handle them becomes bigger. And so you get to trust that. It's not like, oh my God, what is the world doing to me? It's like, oh, here's another lesson. Once you've truly shifted your relationship to it, these problems that come, you don't need fixes. You need to just give it over to God. And then you return yourself to love. That's the only fix you need. Any other fix is adding fuel to the fire, actually. Nothing works. There is no remedy, no antidote for it. Because the more you take the remedy of something, the more you become right about something else. And then it goes on. And then now all these things have you. Or you just give it over. Be like, oh, new moment, new possibility. This moment, I'm not going to have high cholesterol anymore. This moment, I'm going to eat pizza. No, but seriously, like, they say that when you eat something, right? Like, if you feel guilty eating it, it will do worse for you. I don't even know if this is science, but apparently this is out there, right? Like, it's the placebo effect. It's real. Actually, you know what? My wife and I were talking about this science, right? Einstein, I say this all the time because I love this idea, is that Einstein said when you look deep enough into science, the only explanation is spirit, because it don't even make sense. Right? It doesn't logically make sense. We are trying to science and logicalize things that are constantly changing. Cells, atoms, things in our body just changing every single moment. How can we define it as finite? See, we try to identify and focus on a problem, but it's always moving. It's like us trying to poke something while it's freaking out, like moving really fast. Or like, ooh, this medicine's going to solve all of it. What? But when we take something and we believe it, we actually make things in alignment to it so that it fixes it. We give it temporary healing powers, right? Because worst case scenario, you croak and your body goes. It's like, okay, all right, you pass away. Pass away. You pass on. You pass the level. Let's call it. You move on to the next level. So, you know, and we just got there's a lot of things that we get to forgive. We get to let it all go, and we get to be in a place of safety with ourselves, where we find that invulnerability, that we aren't vulnerable to any attacks because I don't see them as attack. If I don't see them as attack, it can't touch me. And so all the things that does touch you and does trigger you, oh, well, let's see what this is about. Right? Not to blame it, not to attack it, not to be right about it, but just to find your invulnerability again, to find your God self, to find the innocent version of yourself that hasn't been tainted by all the dramas and traumas. Now, of course, we are human beings, and there will be times where we aren't prepared for certain things to just show up and hit us right in the face. Oh, but it will. So occasionally some big thing will come and we can't let it go. We're just like, it's going to take longer to let it go. But remember, the letting it go, that moment of letting it go happens in an instant, the truly letting go. So it doesn't matter if you sit in it for 2 days, 3 days, 10 days. There just will be one moment in which you're like, okay, I'm done with it. Let me start laughing again. See, the Course says that the child of God forgot love when we forgot to laugh. And so the next time that you get upset and triggered about something, just hit your stopwatch and see when the next time it is that you will laugh. And then you're like, oh man, that took 5 hours. And then the next time it happens, like, okay, 5 hours is the hour to beat. The second you hit it, you're probably going to laugh. All right. So it's about saving time. We don't got all the time in the world, at least not in this body. So save time. Save time is how fast can you get to a state of awakening. And that is also a choice in this instant. That's not a 20-year practice. It's a choosing right now. That I will begin to see my brothers and sisters as not having separate interests. That these interests are not apart. Right? So was that the question? What was the question? The question was something about inauthenticity and authenticity. So yes, the forgiveness today, rather than trying to figure out what's authentic and what's not, that requires judgment. Let's just go with forgiveness is my F word. Right? I'm going to make more of those shirts. Forgiveness is my F word. Yeah, super cool. All right. And anything else? Great call today. Good job. Thank you all for tuning in and being witnesses. We're all witnesses to the light.
Thank you, Alex, and I love that forgiveness is my F word. Thank you.
All right, cool. We're gonna start a movement. We're gonna brand that.
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
Hey, Marlene, thanks for the question. Authenticity versus inauthenticity. I actually had that question in my mind this morning. I was asking myself, what does that really mean? Be authentic, right? Um, because I've been practicing for several days now, when you wake up in the morning, automatically you have this, what you brought up earlier, Alex, about the past bringing into present, right? Oh, you're worried about things, right? You're worried about this thing and that thing and that thing. And then I'm trying to be aware of that and change that to something better. That peace, right? Um, so it's for a couple of days now. It's been I think it's working for me. Whether it's a simple thing that I would do. So if I think of something, and then I would just like when you're walking on the wood floor, I would I would have that feeling and feel it on my feet. Oh, this feels so nice. Then it just divert my thought to that, to something present, right? So I have been um, trying that exercise. Then this morning, again, when I woke up, there was something that I was trying to bring into the past, and then I was looking for, okay, I feel that the counter, oh, this feels so nice. So right, so it just brings me peace. And then I had this question in my mind: what does authentic really mean? Because I read something about seek authenticity within yourself or act as that. And I'm like, I wonder what does that really mean? But now you just answered it. There's no judgment. Just just be and turn it to the Holy take it give it over to the Holy Spirit. This is deep. This is like so deep.
It's so simple, but it's so deep. We're like, oh God.
It's so simple, but it's so complex.
Well, it's so simple. It's just not easy, right? Well, let's not use complex because now complex is going to make us think something else. But it's simple, but it's not easy because we are so distracted, and that's the practice. So my coach Gary Grant actually always coaches me on innovation and maintenance, and then innovation and maintenance, innovation. So what you're doing in this new practice, this is an innovation, right? It's a new thing that you have to use your brain power to do the first thing in the morning. Okay, wait, let me touch something, and oh, that's my socks. Let me touch the table and be like, ooh, that's nice, and get present. That's a practice, right? That's an innovation that you have to do until it becomes something that you just maintain, which is it doesn't take any effort anymore. Innovation requires effort, maintenance does not. And then you can innovate something new. But what we do, and this contributes to ADD, is we try to innovate 20 things at the same time. I'm going to start my practice Monday morning. My practice is going to be I got a morning meditation, uh, affirmation. I'm going to quit coffee at the same time. And then I'm going to start hitting the gym and do yoga and all these things at the same time on Monday. Like, whoa, how long can you possibly keep that up? We have, let's call it a willpower battery. We can drive ourselves to do these things to innovate, but the battery starts to drain really quick when you try to do more than one thing at a time. Right? I need to practice that, and I'm doing it now. I'm starting to like really try to hone it down. My coach has been coaching me on this. Literally, we're coaching on the same thing for 6 years now, just constantly about the innovation. My whole thing of not only do I try to innovate a bunch of things at the same time, but I try to build an airplane while it's in the air. Like this is and I put myself in those positions. I'm like, and he's like, dude, just do one thing. What's the most important thing? Do that until you do it well, until it becomes maintenance, until you don't need to innovate on it anymore. then go do the next one. There's enough time for you to do them all. You don't got to do them at all at the same time. So, last year I was like, raising money, doing deals, going to conferences, going to masterminds, every single one that I can, running around, doing social media, like just insaneness, right? And even my blood test, and they were like, we have no idea how you're able to will yourself to do all these things. And this is low, that's low, whatever. And this year I'm like, okay, we're in building mode now, right? We're innovating something and we're going to build it. I'm not running around everywhere anymore. I'm going to focus my attention on what's important to me. Like I'm doing, and there's a course that we're running. I think I've shared it with a couple people, but it's called the Clarity Catalyst. And that's going to start next Wednesday for about 8 weeks. And this course was really impactful for me, and I think it's going to be clarity also for me teaching and facilitating it with my friend Coralie, like clarity again back in my life, right? We want to find that center, reignite the flame of inspiration and motivation, and we're going to be teaching that course for 8 weeks. It's only $100. We're only taking, I don't know, a couple more people, because people that reserve spots have not paid, and we sent emails or like, this is it, today is the last day. If you're not paid, we will open it up for other people. And I think we're going to have about 18 people in there. That's it. It will never be it probably will never be $100 again. Actually, not gonna say never, but this is something that we're working on, and it's gonna be something that I'm gonna spend a lot more time and effort on. Like more A Course in Miracles, more Clarity Catalysts. And my Thursday night underwriting call is actually coming to an end. This Thursday for me will be the last one. And I'm going to look for somebody in our Legends group to take it over. And I'm excited to find who that's going to be. And we'll do training wheel. I won't solo run it anymore. I'll have somebody run it with me. We'll find out who that's going to be on Tuesday. And yeah, it'll be fun. So let's see. Clarity Catalyst. Let me put the link or something to this. Then we will conclude it. Anybody else have anything else they want to share? Okay, let's see. Boom. Space plans. Okay, well, in the chat will be a link in case you guys want to check it out. And for those of you guys that don't know, the first time that I taught this course, my now wife was in it, and she was a part of the first journey that was created. And now we're married. We didn't even know each other then. So it was a beautiful program, beautiful course. I'm so excited to restart it back up. I've always wanted to restart it back up, but I got busy with other stuff, right? Real estate stuff, social media stuff. But this is back. This is the soul journey back to our hearts. So it's called Clarity Catalyst. Super fun. It's a really fun program. By the end of it, you will definitely see a very big shift in yourself. There will be lots of clarity. Okay, so people are hopping in, joining us at the very last minute. And even so, hopefully I can give you guys some value by reading something, by just extending Marianne Williamson's things to us. Let's read one more of her A Year of Miracle section. Okay, so okay. Either today I find my calling, or on seeing we are one. Okay, let's find my calling. We talked about calling today, right? So we just slipped right to it. So here's the calling again. I'm going to call it out. I'm going to say that I'm calling it out to you, each person, as teachers of God, that may my light ignite and spark yours once again, and that you continue to shine it and touch others. So today I find my calling, and this is how we're going to wrap up today's call. A calling is an organic field of energy emerging from the deepest aspects of who I am. Whoa, she's so good with words. It is the fulfillment of what God has created me to do. Oh, created me to be and do. Approaching my work as a job versus approaching it as a calling makes all the difference in whether or not I dwell in the miraculous universe. I have a calling simply because I am alive. I have a calling because I am a child of God. I have a calling because I am on this earth with a divine purpose to rise to the level of my highest creative possibility, expressing all that I am intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, and physically in order to make the universe a more beautiful place. My calling is what I would do whether I were paid to do it or not. It is what I have to do in order to be happy. My calling connects me to my deepest self and to the rest of life around me. Today, may I find my calling, if only in my heart. As I hear God's call within me, I answer with all my heart. Our love will resonate throughout the universe and form the calling my soul on earth. Great power will emanate from this greatest of loves, and so it is. Amen. Day 184. Today I find my calling. All right. May you all find your calling today, and light that light. Bring light to darkness. Much blessings to everybody. I will see you guys on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Amen. That was beautiful.
Bye, everyone. All right. See you on Wednesday.
Oh, let me end the stream.